All right, so Tulsi Gabbard has finally weighed in on vaccine mandates. And her response, she was on with Megyn Kelly, is that she doesn't think they should be mandated. She says it sets a dangerous precedent, which I agree. She cited religious exemptions. She cited personal reasoning for not wanting to get a vaccine. It's what I wanted to hear from Tulsi Gabbard. I didn't expect, Alex Jones or I don't know, Stu Peters. I didn't expect her to be way over on that side of the equation. But when you do your research, you do your own due diligence, I think you will come to the same conclusion that most critical thinking people are coming to on this issue. But this really does set up Tulsi Gabbard as a go-to alternative to someone like Donald Trump, who, for better or worse, still has most of the political capital here in the United States. And, it's one of those things where you wish it was someone else. I do personally. I know a lot of people who just love this guy. He can do no wrong. He walks on water. Even when he took $1 million from Pfizer for his inauguration. And I know I reiterated that in a video. And the video, I thought that video might go a little viral because a lot of people are asking the questions as to why Trump was pushing these things so hard and continues to do so. He gave a speech the other night, and my guess is the speechwriter must have left out the part about, go ahead and do this. It's the right thing to do, blah, 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 whatever. I want to take credit for this. I think as time goes on, the people who are taking credit for this, including Trump, are going to try to distance themselves from some of the things that are happening. The statistics on this, and I wish Tulsi would really kind of hunker down and look at what's happening out there around the world. And especially when it comes to kids, all right, who they're after the children so much. And that would raise the same red flags as the controlling nature of the program, which Tulsi Gabbard called out and did a great job doing so. But I'm happy she finally has weighed in on this. This has been weighing heavily on my mind for quite some time. At the beginning of this, when she was in Congress, it seemed as though she was pushing things like the Trace Act and other legislation, which was, again, giving more and more control and more power to the federal government. And right now, we're looking at a federal government that has incredible power to the point where the Constitution, it was not only run over and backed over and shredded, it's basically just window dressing or an afterthought in most conversations today. The states have the power. The people in those states have the power. In fact, the states were the ones that allowed the federal government to exist in the first place. And if people would just do a little bit of homework and discover where the power comes from, it's not a joke that we, the people, have the power. And Tulsi Gabbard has always been about we, the people. Now, her expression of that has sometimes been muddled and confusing, where she probably does want some government intervention. People on Twitter like to say she's a JFK Democrat. If she's the one to reform her party and make it into a JFK Democrat party, that would be interesting. I don't think it's possible with the likes of the Squad and this progressive sort of, it's neo-progressive though, because it's authoritarian at its core. And you can lament, sending money over to Israel, right, for their dome or whatever. If you're AOC, you can cry on the House floor. but there's so many other issues where we're spending money on nothing. It's more crony capitalism. It's bailing out blue cities that have failed. It's printing money. It's blowing up the Federal Reserve. It's doing all of these things. And you need, today's issues are far more complicated than just lockdowns and mandates. But I'm telling you this is the issue of our time. And if a political figure, and this goes out to you libertarians, okay? First of all, libertarians, you'd have to kind of recruit a serious person. You're not dealing with too many serious people out there. If Dave Smith is the best of what you got, sorry. He's a good guy. He's funny. He's smart. He's not the guy. You need somebody who defects from one of the two parties and has some kind of resume that you can hang your hat on. Somebody who understands that you can't make libertarianism just be about one or two issues for stoners or gamers or people that don't like cops. This has to go across. It's got to be broad appeal. And see, this is why Tulsi Gabbard has an opportunity politically, because the Trumpers like her, the old school Democrats like her, independents love her. All right. And I think it's time, if she really wants to make a move. People are saying she's going to run for governor of Hawaii. Okay. I don't know. I guess that's your next political step on the ladder. But we need help at the federal level quickly. And maybe she's just reading the room and is thinking, I cannot mount a campaign against Donald Trump and win. But if you were the nominee in the Democratic Party, you could. The problem is the Democrats, this is Tulsi's problem as running, and she knows this, running as a Democrat. They'll never let her get anywhere near the nomination. All right. In New Hampshire, I can guarantee you she got more support than was registered, especially based on what we've seen with so-called election integrity, which we don't have any right now. Again, whether you like Trump or not, all 50 states should have a forensic audit, top to bottom. We need to know that the elections work. And this isn't about Donald Trump. I've been saying this since it happened. It's about getting to the truth. What happened in Arizona looks very, very suspicious. They find all of these people that don't live at these addresses who supposedly, voted, right? Not to mention all the dead people, all the ghost people, okay. So you would think to yourself, if it's more than whatever they say, it's supposed to be less than 1%. All right. In order for this to kick an investigation into gear. I'm sorry, you need to investigate all 50 states. And Tulsi needs to be on board with that. Here's the reason. Because I think she got the shaft in New Hampshire. I really do. That state, custom made for a candidate like Tulsi Gabbard, a libertarian streak, independent streak, some progressives up there that don't buy into the Eric Swalwell version of politics right now. And it needs to get done. And if it turns out that everything is just hunky-dory, then you move on. You do this and you move on. It's not brain surgery, but it costs too much money. Really, we're printing trillions of dollars and we're giving it to blue cities that are mismanaged or running themselves into the ground for political reasons to appeal to a very narrow group of people. But then again, maybe it's not so narrow, because look what happened in California during the recall. So kudos to Tulsi Gabbard. This is kind of a big deal. And I'm hoping to hear more out of Tulsi when it comes to lockdowns and freedom and, QR codes and whatever else people are dealing with. Just going to a restaurant or to a concert. The economy will never recover if we continue to isolate people this way and force them into doing things. You're going to see hospital systems that are either going to collapse or suffer. They're talking about bringing in the National Guard to go into hospitals and to inject and treat patients. which is the same thing these days, because that seems to be the solution to every problem. Just inject them. And, even if they're coming in for a broken leg, make sure they get the vax, because that's the only thing that really matters these days. All right, that's my video. Don't forget to check out the other folks in this network, including my friend Charles Anderson, my other friend Stacy for Truth. We are here as a pack of sort of independent thinkers, people that can't be just put into one category. We're all kind of loose cannons. So check us all out, and I'll see you soon.